and I got all we need. Yeah, boy, I'm about to show me a set of slicker. How to kick it in the sticks with the critters down on side of the bum wire.
Hey y'all, this is Chan Man from the Country Boys Outdoors. Today we're going to be making a simple chow recipe that good fishermen might use. There's a little trick to it, so if you don't know how to make good chow, then this is the good way how to. We're going to go fishing tomorrow at Hud's. We're going to try to catch some decent sized fish. Now I'm going to be taking the camera from my dad and let him take it from here.
Alright, like Chan said, we're going to make a trout chow recipe today. And typical way to make it is 3 pounds of chow to a can of corn or whatever. But I do it a little bit different just to be a little economic and to give me two kinds of flavors with 1 bag of chow. So I did have 3 pounds of chow, and what I've done is I've already broke it up. Typically what you get if you split it up is about a little over 8 cups. So I put 4 cups in one bucket, 4 in another, and then there's usually a little bit left over, probably 4 1/4 cups each. With my corn, what I'll do is I'll break it in half instead of using a whole can of corn. I go with about 6-7 ounces. I try to make it just a little dry so I can always add a splash or 2 of corn in it during the day if I get a little dry in my bait. And the reason that is because I've just had some troubles in the past making chow. And Purina actually did change the oils associated with their chow, which has made it a little different with using a whole can of corn. So what I got here is basically a little over 4 cups of chow, about 7 ounces of corn, and then my flavoring today is I've got about an ounce and a half of a snow cone flavor, and then I'm going to use about 1/4 to 1/2 a bottle of flavoring that's made at the Bass Shack in Shelby, North Carolina, with Charlie and Teresa over there make a real good flavoring. So today for this I'm using the flavoring made at Bass Shack in Shelby. It's called Charlie's. So here's what we do. You got your trout chow. We'll just set it to the side. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your Kool-Aid, your snow cone flavoring, whatever it is, you're going to go ahead and put it in your corn. About 7 ounces of corn. And then you're going to take your flavoring, and we're going to, like I say, about 1/4 to 1/2 a bottle, all mixed in with the corn. And you just kind of have to eyeball it. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard to see how much you've actually used. So about 1/4 to 1/2 a bottle of your flavor. We're going to take a spoon. We're just going to incorporate all this together real good like. Get it all in there pretty good, mixed all in with the cream style corn. Any cream style corn will do you. You don't have to go out and buy that high dollar corn. You can just buy the store brand, and it works just fine. I don't think the Carp knows the difference between Green Giant, Del Monte, or Food Line brand, or whatever place you like to go at.
Now Jim, but how many times are you going to stir that?
Well, I just want to make sure I get it mixed in good. You got to remember I got the cream style corn, and then I got that powder, Kool-Aid powder, and then I got that heavy concentrated flavor in there. So I want to make sure I get it incorporated well together and get that powder liquefied. So once you get it stirred up real good, go to the microwave. This is a very important step for me, is you're going to use some heat, and you want to get some heat to it. We'll cook it about 30 seconds. You just want the corn to steam. You don't want it to overcook it or burn it or scorch it. You just want it to steam, get that heat so the chow can begin to soak up all this liquid. So we'll go about 30 seconds on it and let it run. Now, like I say, there's several ways you can make the chow. 3 pounds to a can of corn. Some people put K-Rose syrup in it. Not a big time winter fisherman, but when you do fish in the winter, unless the lake prohibits that you throw chow, you're probably going to have to make some chow. So we're going to let this count down here. Just get that corn to steaming real good. When I take it out, we'll put the camera on it, you'll actually be able to see the steam coming up from it right good. See that steam rising off of it? I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. I'm going to go a little bit longer. It don't feel warm to me. We'll go about 20 seconds. You want to see that corn steaming real good, but you don't want to scorch it or overcook it.
But Jimbo, if the corn starts to steam, then the catfish or the carp won't bite it.
No, you're steaming it like this to get that heat to your chow, to make the chow kind of swell, like oats when you make oats. There's a little steam coming off of it. Yep, feels warm to the touch. Now here's all you do. We'll put it right here so the camera can show you exactly what we're doing. Show them in there. There's your chow. You're just going to add in your flavor in there and your corn. Get you a spoon. Get it out right good there, yonder. Get as much of it as you can. Like me, you pinch pennies. You want to use all you can get, not waste none of it if you can help it. Now you can use whatever kind of flavoring you want. You want to use butternut or strawberry, or you want to use peach, or you want to use barnyard or whatever. And it don't make no difference. Just whatever you fancies you. And you just take your hand in there and you'll feel the warmness of the corn mixture yonder. And you just give it a good stir like you do any other of your carp bait. You want to make sure you get it all mixed in good. Every grain of that chow touches the liquid so it can begin to soak it up right smart. And then it'll be ready to fish. You want to pull from the bottom some, because you'll have a lot of liquid lay on the bottom there.
Yes, sir.
Pull from the bottom. And just run your fingers back and forth, kind of like in a fork, y'all. Just kind of run back and forth and pull and push with it real good. Stir it up right smart. You can't stir it too much, can't knead it too much like you can bread when you're making dough.
Excuse me.
It's pretty stout smelling.
Yeah.
Kind of loud, ain't it? That's about it. It's worked in pretty good. Now, once you get it worked in, the most important thing for you to do when you get it worked in is go on and put your lid on it and leave it be. You don't want to mess with it. Put your lid on it, leave it be. You don't want to fool with it none. Let it do its thing. Now typically when you make your trout chow, 30 minutes to an hour, you're ready to go fishing. I like to make mine the night before and let it sit, and like I say, you can always add some corn to it to wetten it back up a little bit. The thing about chow is you can't get it too wet, because once you lose it, it's real hard to get back. If you do lose it and get it too wet and it won't break for you, well, then you could use scratch feed, you could use some rice, you could even use some quick grits. You don't want to use instant, you can use some quick to get your break time working for you. But that's how a simple recipe I make trout chow, and we appreciate you tuning in. That's Chan Man behind the camera there.
Jimbo, one question. So what if your chow don't stick?
Well, if it don't stick, then you've not put enough corn to it. If it wants to fall apart and break apart on you when you're throwing it stuff, it's not quite damp enough. You need to put a little more corn to it. That's Chan Man behind the camera. It's Jimbo with Country Boys Outdoors. We hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe to us if you can. Follow us, comment on it. Tell us maybe you got a recipe or an idea. And we'll be glad to share it with folks. And get ready for this spring coming up when we go fishing. So this is Country Boys Outdoors signing off. Good night, y'all.